The main goal of a video game is to create an experience that immerses the player in a world that is not completely real. Video games are capable of coaxing people into feeling certain emotions with the help of graphics, storylines, interfaces, and sounds. As technology advances, they can bring forth reactions from even the peakiest players around. Of course, these feelings can only be evoked if the game was created correctly and allows a player to connect to it in an emotional level. However, let's think for a moment and wonder what would happen if a video game is used to educate people about psychological issues. There are already several games that have proven capable of this, but one that takes this education to the next level is Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. Senua, Hellblade's protagonist, is a young woman that has suffered from schizophrenia and psychosis since she was a child. She lives in a world governed by the Norse gods and their legends. Death and war are part of everyday life in this world, and you're thrown right where Senua's real challenge begins. If you heed the game's designer's advice and play with headphones, you will immediately begin experiencing what it is to be inside Senua's head. All around you, you will begin hearing different voices. They will tell you what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. Sometimes they push you towards your goal. Sometimes they take you away from your goal. And well, sometimes, they want you to die, or they want you to survive. You never really know what the voices are gonna do in this game. Sometimes they whisper, sometimes they yell. And not only that though, with the right headphones on, you can get the feeling that the voices are not just in front of you, like in other video games, but all around you. You can get the feeling that the voices are behind you, to the side, in front of you, everywhere. To emphasize Senua's psychosis, the creators of the game present the player with a strange and mysterious world. Just with the psychosis, it reaches a point where you simply cannot know for certain if what you're looking at is real or not. You might end up wondering, are those ghosts real? Is that voice from a real person? Or is it just me? Who am I exactly? Am I even alive? The game makes sure to keep you on your toes, always making you wonder what will happen. From shadows lurking in the darkness and the constant need to reach the light for safety, to the epic creepy boss battles that you will experience throughout the game, there is no doubt that this game is not for the weak of mind. To this mixture, we will add the multiple cutscenes that take place throughout the game. These are extremely important since Senua's creators had no mercy in exposing to you what psychosis truly is. Using every single resource at their disposal, they create carefully designed chaos that shows Senua's descent into madness. Even the flashes of color, the red tints that show flashbacks or illusions, serve to lead the player wondering what's really happening within the game. Finally, the varying speeds of the gameplay also aid with a growing sensation of despair that eventually reaches a climax that, I must admit, shatters everything that you believed was true. And yet, this plot twist fits perfectly with the way Senua's mind works. As I said, what is real? You cannot even truly tell if the Norse gods exist within the game, or if Senua also is imagining that. At the end, what exactly are you fighting? It is a question that cannot be answered without thought. Now, it is important to point out that Hellblade was not just made by some psychology and Norse mythology fans, but by a vast group of people that knew what they were doing. The game designers gathered data from experienced psychologists to try and understand these issues in depth. Moreover, they also asked people who experienced schizophrenia to try the game. This then ensured that the voices and visuals seemed as close to what those with the real problem was. And indeed, schizophrenics actually tested the game to that and stated that, yes, the game did show quite well how they saw and felt things. As we can see, the game not only teaches a great deal about Norse mythology, but it also brings to light psychological issues that most people do not understand in the modern age. Most of us have an idea of what psychology is and the pathologies that come with it. But we might even learn that the reason why some of these pathologies affect some people, well, it does not affect others. However, that does not mean that we truly understand what the person that experiences them is going through. But with games like Hellblade, we can actively experience these issues. In this way, it could be said that Hellblade is quite educational, though because of its interface and the way it's made, it is not considered a serious game. Regardless of that, the game is capable of placing us inside the head of someone with psychosis.